Welcome to ERP online trainings. Myself Lakshman, I'll be the trainer for this. I have experience of 10 years on Oracle ERP. I worked as a R12 financial functional consultant, currently working as a fusion consultant. And I'm more into trainings. Other side, I'll be taking care of some freelancing work from the clients or from different vendors. So that's all about my background. Now let's get started to start this session as a demo for today. Okay. Fine. So if you have any questions, okay, we'll have time to discuss. And once I start discussing about any point, we'll have again a gap between that so that you can post your questions. We'll have a detailed discussion on the same. Okay, then. So for today demo, I have this is the agenda. Okay. In today's demo, we are going to, I request you all to keep mute yourself. If you have any question, you can just unmute yourself and you can ask me. If you find any background from your side, I request you to type your questions in the chat window so that I'll go through it and I'll be answering. Still, I can hear some noise from someone. Seems to they not at uh, kept on mute themselves. Request you all. I think this guy done. And anybody else? Fine. Thank you. Done. Okay, in today's session, we'll go through what is the meaning of, what is the background of Oracle Fusion applications, and we'll understand what are the Fusion implementation models. We have a cloud and we have some other options. We'll go through it. And after that, we'll be discussing about what is the enterprise structure in the Fusion environment. Again, I can hear some noise. Okay, I request you all to keep on mute yourself. Okay, then we'll go through this Fusion enterprise structure. What is the enterprise structure in the Fusion environment? Same as EBS, we have multi-org structure. Then we'll just walk through what is the org structure in the Fusion applications and how they simplified data conversion process in Fusion environment. Okay, we know in EBS how it works and what is the meaning of rapid implementation. Finally, we'll go through the what is the course content we are going to have. Okay, in this online training. Okay, these are the few bullet points which we are going to cover in today demo as a agenda. Okay, done. So first we'll see what is all about Fusion applications. Okay, when I talk about Fusion applications, okay, Oracle Fusion applications. So we know like we have many ERP products in the market. If you take top ERP products, we have from Oracle EBS, and again we have JD Edwards. Hope everyone can hear me. If somebody has any issue with the just this audio and all, you can just vote us. We'll see if anything can be done from our side. So JD Edwards, and we have a PeopleSoft. Just I'm listing out the top ERP products in the market, which are well specialized for respective solution area. Okay, we'll talk about that. PeopleSoft, and we have Siebel. Okay, so on. There are many other ERP products also. Just I'm taking few to just which will give some understanding to understand about what is the Fusion applications. There are a few ERP products. Okay, top ERP products. Along with that, there are many other solutions for reporting and project management. Take simple example as Hyperion. Hyperion product is very good for the planning and reporting. I mean to say budgeting and reporting in the same way. Primavera, so on. There are many ERP products. I'm just claiming these as a ERP products, and these are part of enterprise solution where companies can use for their relevant business requirements. So Hyperion for reporting and planning. Primavera majorly for the project planning and scheduling, project management point of view. The companies can use it. So when you talk about these ERP products, we know like out of these ERPs, you know very well, Oracle EBS well specialized. When you compare with other ERP products, the best piece from EBS is financials. Okay, financials, Oracle financials are well specialized from EBS. That is the best solution which you can see out of EBS suite. In the same way, when you talk about JD Edwards, from JD Edwards, the best solution is procurement. And when you look at PeopleSoft, HR solutions, HRMS, say just HR solutions. And Siebel is very famous for, as we know, CRM. Hyperion for reporting primarily. Along with that, budgets. And Primavera is specialized for projects. Okay. So this is how there are many other ERP products and enterprise related products we have in the market. So, but when you look at any ERP product, if you go with Oracle EBS, financials is best piece out of Oracle EBS. But when you compare EBS with JD Edwards, procurement is not that much sound from Oracle EBS. And when if any client is going to opt EBS solutions from Oracle, so when they compare with the HR solution from EBS, that is not that much sound when they compare with the PeopleSoft. In the same way, customer relationship management solution is not best from EBS when we compare with the Siebel. This is how from different ERPs we have a different best solutions out of that ERP product, but we don't have any product in the market, okay, which is well specialized in all the business areas. So what Oracle it is, as we know, so EBS is Oracle EBS is owned by Oracle Corporation. After that, just Oracle acquired JD Edwards, PeopleSoft, Siebel, Hyperion, Primavera. There are many other ERP products and many technologies Oracle acquired. After the acquisition, what Oracle it is, from Oracle EBS, they taken financials. Okay, financials they taken from EBS, and procurement they taken from JD Edwards, and HR solution they taken from PeopleSoft. In the same way, CRM solutions they taken from Siebel, and this reporting and budget capabilities, okay, the reporting and budget capabilities they taken from Hyperion, and from many other ERP products and other enterprise solutions they taken the best out of those products, and they built an ultimate application called as Fusion applications. So that's what they named it as a Fusion. Fusion is nothing but so these different multiple product best solutions out of those products they taken, and they built an application called as Fusion applications. Now when you talk about our financials, almost whatever we have as a part of EBS, the same solution they inherited into Fusion applications, but only we have to understand, we know in EBS environment, if you are going to do the implementation, from where to start, how to start, what is the kind of navigations, what is the terminology, what is the process need to be followed, how to manage the users, how to do the configuration, how to do with the responsibilities, how to set up the profile options, we know in and out of the process. But when you talk about Fusion financials, Oracle Fusion financials, just some basic learning is required. Anyway, we have to walk through at least one time to understand before we go on to start working on Fusion financials. So it's not going to be complete learning for us. The same EBS solution we have in Fusion, along on top of it they added some few features, and you have to understand the Fusion technology and how things will be managed in the Fusion environment, from where to start, how to manage everything, the entire implementation process. These things primarily we have to focus. Okay, the calendar creation, chart of accounts creation, primary ledger or secondary ledger, reporting ledger, or payables process, receivables process, everything remains same. Only we have to understand some key points which will just give the privilege to work on the fusion applications. Okay, that anyway, just we'll see like this training we are going to have in the way like where you will be able to, after this training you will be able to work as a fusion financial consultant. So that's how we are going to have the coverage where we'll just work on this, where we'll work on this instance by treating this instance as fresh instance, and we'll touch all the points which are key and which need to be followed when we are doing the fusion implementation. Okay, so these are the few points to understand about what it's all about, fusion applications. Okay, so if anybody has any question on this point, just you can ask me, we'll discuss now. Any questions? Just I'm trying to talk about what exactly fusion applications. Simple point is the fusion applications are built by taking the best solutions from the different ERP products, okay, which are acquired by Oracle. And there are few features which Oracle just built as a fusion features which are not there in the current market from any one of the existing products. So that is also another fact. Okay, done. That's all about fusion applications. Okay, the other point, fusion implementation models. Okay, fusion implementation models. The second point is Oracle fusion implementation models. You may call it as adoptions also. Okay, fusion implementation models are adoptions. If any client is interested to go with these fusion applications, what are the different models or adoptions are available from Oracle? Okay, basically those models we can classify into two types. One is on-premise. Okay, other one is cloud. Okay, so Oracle fusion implementations for fusion any product, it can be HCM or procurement, finance or PPM, any other product. If client is going to use, going to have for their data manage system management, what are the different adoptions are available? Two adoptions are available. One is on-premise and other one is cloud. So on-premise is very well known to us because almost implementations in EBS, it could be 11 or release 12, all are happens on R12 environment, on-premise environment only. As you know, on-premise means, like everything, the total server infrastructure need to be purchased by client, and they have to take the product license, they'll get installed, they'll have their separate team who will be managing the server. And in case of on-premise, the customizations, no restrictions from Oracle. Just Oracle, of course, this gives some recommendation not to have too much customizations where they cannot support if you have some issues, but customizations are possible. So again, here the disadvantage for the client is they have to invest a lot. They have to invest a lot for this server infrastructure. And again, big challenges are when Oracle is going to introduce some new releases, and that would be again they have to invest some cost to upgrade to latest versions. So on-premise means simple. The server will be maintained by client only. That will be just the server will be residing in the client premises. Okay. And when I talk about cloud, when I talk about cloud, it's all about where on-premise or cloud we can differentiate depending on where we are going to deploy the server. If server is deployed in the client location, that we call as on-premise. If server is, see, when you talk about on-premise, that is a physical server. When I talk about cloud, okay, the cloud means there won't be any physical server. So you can get virtual server from cloud computing company. Say now Oracle is one of the biggest cloud computing company. Along with that, what are the ERP products? Just now we discussed as Oracle acquired all these products. Along with that, they acquired many technologies. Out of that, cloud computing technology also they acquired from existing big players in the market. Now we can say Oracle is one of the biggest cloud computing company in the market. So Oracle is offering cloud solutions for the businesses. Okay, so in this case we can say like cloud based implementation means we are not at all going to purchase any server infrastructure, and we no need to install any, we no need to take license for the product, we no need to install the product in the cloud environment, and we no need to worry about the upgrades, latest versions which Oracle is going to release, and we no need to take care of the maintenance. Everything will be taken care by Oracle itself. Okay, here in cloud base what happens is you are not going to have any physical servers. You will be having access to virtual server which will be created by client. So where the cloud server, your virtual server will be residing means that virtual server will be residing as a internet as a source. So on-premise case, the server will be located in some country, right? It can be India or US or some other country. But when you talk about cloud, the server is not going to be located in specific uh, region or some country or some location. It's going to be as a location. The cloud base, the server is going to be reside in the internet as a source. So wherever you have internet, there you can think like your server is residing. That would be easy connectivity you can have, and there would be great user experience when you are just accessing the cloud. And we will discuss detailed level of points to differentiate what is the difference between the on-premise and cloud. And here itself I want to give you one point. We have two terms because this is the question I'm hearing from many people. Say like here I have one term called as Oracle Fusion Financials, and other point versus Oracle Fusion Cloud, or I'll say Oracle Cloud Financials, Oracle Fusion Cloud Financials. So what is the difference between this Oracle Fusion Financials and Oracle Fusion Cloud Financials? It's very simple. So when client is going to use Fusion Financials, if that server is deployed in cloud base, if the server is going to client is going to access the server which is deployed in the cloud environment, that simply you can call as Oracle Fusion Cloud Financials. If that product, those applications are deployed in on-premise in the client based server, that you can call as just Oracle Fusion Financials. Here we were not adding the term called as cloud. Cloud always refers if you are deploying your server in the internet as a source with the help of cloud computing company. That's all. So this is a simple point to understand. Now just let's go through detailed points. So to understand what is the difference between on-premise and cloud, what are the advantages and disadvantages. Okay, and here I'll be adding few more points. Meantime, I have some question from uh, okay, Oracle is allow on-premise for Fusion applications currently. Yes, yes, Oracle is allowing for on-premise, but major focus Oracle has for on cloud. The more than 90% business they are doing cloud based only. The rest of 10%, okay, they are not focusing. When client is interested, they are giving that option to the client to have a on-premise. Okay, even you can see very few clients in the market who are going with on-premise. Most of the clients are now interested because Oracle is taking care of the complete security. Okay, what are the concerns client has in terms of their data and other aspects, that we'll see. Few more points we'll just go through here. And okay, done. So this is all about to understand what is on-premise and cloud. Okay, and to here when you talk about cloud, simple point, on-premise means client will purchase all the server infrastructure, they will take the license, they will be installing, they'll have a technical team who will take care of the instance, and any patch applications, their DBA or some technical person has to do it, and all customizations are allowed because on-premise will have full control on that instance product. So that's how it works. Okay, here very cost, they have to invest a lot of money and all, and again the customizations etc, that again it will cost more for the client from consulting company. And other point is, if any new versions, again client has to go with the upgrade, again it will be costing for the client. When you talk about cloud, in the cloud base, client is not going to buy any server infrastructure. The server infrastructure, I mean to say, the server will be provided by Oracle itself. What kind of server means? Virtual server. Where it will reside? It will reside as internet as a source. There is a separate technology, cloud computing. The cloud computing company will maintain the big machines. The machines can generate virtual servers. In the virtual server environment, however you can use the physical server, in the same way virtual server can be utilized, where you can install and where you can do all those things. But Oracle is not giving any privileges to us to do the installation and all. Everything they will take care of. Okay, just they'll provide virtual server, and installation and patching work or any auto upgrade, everything Oracle will take care of. Again, when you talk about cloud, again within the cloud we have a different options. We have many options, but we no need to understand when we are working as a functional consultant. There are few basic options, we'll go through it. So with the cloud we have a different options like SaaS model. Okay, one is SaaS. SaaS stands for software as a service. This is the one option available in the cloud. Along with this SaaS, we have another model called as PaaS. Platform as a service. Okay. So what is the difference between these SaaS and PaaS? Okay, say for example, client interested to go with the cloud. Again, which option within the cloud, which option client has to choose, whether SaaS or PaaS? That depends on their business process. Easily they can take the decision to opt any one of these. How these two are different? SaaS means software as a service. In this model, what happens is, okay, you'll be just, you don't need to just buy any license for the product, and you don't need to have any server infrastructure. As we discussed, cloud means virtual server. So the major difference between SaaS and PaaS, if you go with the SaaS, customizations are not allowed. Maybe small personalizations can be allowed. Customizations are not allowed in the SaaS model. If you go with the PaaS model, customizations are allowed. Oracle will provide the platform which allow you to do customizations as per your business process. Okay, but if you go with the SaaS, the customizations are allowed. What is the advantage if you go with the SaaS? If you go with the SaaS model, customizations are not allowed. But if you are using that product, simply you can simply, when Oracle will release new version, automatically your environment will get upgraded because you are on the cloud base. Again, you are using the SaaS model. There are no huge customizations which you did, just except a few small personalizations. In that case, if any client is using the SaaS model, auto upgrade takes place, but only the disadvantage is customizations are not allowed. If there is any client as per their business process, customizations are mandatory. In that case, only the option is PaaS model, platform as a service. Okay, if the client go with the PaaS model, the customizations are allowed, and auto upgrade is not possible. That upgrade also, if you have to put the request to Oracle, they'll be doing, again that will be costing different. Okay, so these are the two options we have within the cloud. I have a small simple slide here to talk about what are the big change differences between this SaaS and the PaaS model. Just let me run through that slide here. So cloud platforms and platform versus on-premises. Okay, so here is the screen, just to understand on-premise applications, how everything will be managed. So if you go with on-premise, okay, capex, your capital expenditure, okay, you have to invest lot to buy the server infrastructure. And other point is, okay, customer owned upgrades and patching. If you go with on-premise, Fusion applications, okay, customer itself, they have to go with the upgradation if there is a latest version available in the market from the Oracle, and again the patching entire work need to be done. And other one is data center and the hardware cost includes, okay, and disaster recovery, etc. This all need to be invested by client only. That they should have their data center, or else they have to deploy their server in the respective data center. For that they'll be incurring the cost, and there will be chance where uh, some disasters takes place, and again for recovery and all they have to invest a lot for the some maintenance activities. And again there will be costly customizations, okay, and to do the customizations and all they have to invest a lot. And again the maintenance and all, other one annual support cost, because they have to pay to Oracle for annual support cost. And other one is just they have to retain the staff who will be taking care of the server maintenance and all, okay. And the server client itself, they have to manage with their own networks, and they have to take care of the security and access, etc. And if client is going to use this product as an on-premise, okay, always they have to upgrade from the current whatever the version they are standing on, from that to latest version. Again for that they'll be investing a lot of cost. Upgrades also they have to invest. These are the challenges every client will be having who are running their systems as a on-premise solution. And in case of, okay, so simple point before we just go through that other screen. Simple point here is, if they go with the on-premise, the capex investment will be very less, and the customer no need to take care of own upgrades and patching. That will be done by Oracle. They no need to maintain data center, and they no need to worry about the disasters takes place. And they don't no need to depending on that the flat option which they are choosing. Customizations depends. And annual support also, there won't be some different process here, it will be followed. And they no need to maintain the servers, and they no need to take care of their own network for this instance purpose. And upgrade point of view, they no need to invest. That will be taken care by Oracle itself. See here the simple slide here. So if you go with the cloud applications, this is a options you can just understand. So one is rent a flexible service, pay as you grow. First of all, rent flexible service. Here you no need to buy any product, just you have to send a request to Oracle saying that this is your requirement. Accordingly they'll provide the cloud based instance, okay, based on your requirement you can implement it. And you can rent that same instance, you can take on rent base, use based on pay based on your usage, or pay based on what are the applications you are using. That is a simple option. And standard security and access anywhere everywhere. See there everything that and security Oracle will take care of, since it's a cloud. From anywhere anytime easily you can access with a more security in the security model. Now here the business users, since there is no like some IT support and all, you don't require to support technically, that everything will be taken care by Oracle. Only from client end there will be super users who will be just using the application. And other one is, okay, so best practices processes, whatever like best processes Oracle is including, so those will be able to avail if you are on the cloud base. And other one, no upgrade, okay, so auto upgrade will takes place. For that you no need to worry about new releases which Oracle is coming up. So these are the simple points to understand what is the difference and what is the benefit when client is running their application on the cloud base. Okay, so these are the few points to discuss about cloud and on-premise. If anybody has any question on so what on-premise or cloud or SaaS or PaaS models, you can ask me. We'll discuss now. Any questions on this? Okay, any question from anyone?
Lakshman,
Yeah.
yeah, if I purchase SaaS model, if I want to go for a customization, how Oracle will support?
No.
If it is a major customization for my client, means client,
Hmm.
that will allow?
No, not allowed. Small size of personalization, simple personalizations are allowed, but altogether customizations are not allowed. And again, when you say here customization, purely functionality customization, simple, only functional. To see in EBS case, what we'll do if any new form is required, they just will be developing the form. So if you go with the SaaS model, that is not possible. Rest of all things can be possible. If you want to develop the new report, yes, that is possible. That you can do through BI and with any other format, BI reporting, it is possible. And OTBI, it is possible. There are different options for reporting. We should not think reports, new reports we cannot develop. That is possible. That Oracle is not treating as some customization altogether, just creating some new report and all in that aspect. So that doesn't comes under customizations in the Fusion environment when you talk about SaaS. Any report, new report you can develop. And only when you talk about SaaS model customization means it's all about developing the new functionalities. That is not allowed. If you are with the SaaS model, if you are going to just say you have a something with when you are using the SaaS model, there are pre-built integrations are available with other ERP products also. You might be using this Oracle SaaS model, but you are running only financials. Other kind of solutions you are running on release 11 only or other Oracle ERP products that can be PeopleSoft or Cbill or JD Advance. So Oracle is providing many pre-built connectors through that your SaaS model where you are running financial, those can be connected, okay, without putting more effort on that because Oracle is providing pre-configured connectors. Through that you can do that. If you are going to do some third-party integrations also, that is also possible. That also we should not take into part of that kind of customization. It's all about third-party application, non-Oracle applications also you can integrate with the Fusion-based SaaS or PaaS model of environment. For that, Oracle is providing web services. There are multiple options that also will run through when we are working, when we have that session. I'll just run through those points also. So only the point what we have to understand here, SaaS model customizations are not allowed. Simple point, you cannot develop new form. You cannot develop new form except that rest of reports or some other integrations that can be inbound or outbound integrations all are possible in PaaS model as per your business requirement. If you have some the process basis, some data need to be captured as a separate some event or activity, that also can be supported in the PaaS model, since the ADF forms can be developed and can be integrated within the process, can be customized your entire process as per your business requirement. So that is the meaning of customization in the Fusion environment.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, I can see few questions here in the chat window. Okay, let me just go through that. Okay, security of cloud. Oracle will take care of security. Okay, being a client, how they will have a concerns about their security and all. Oracle 100% they'll take care of the security. In fact, many of banking sectors also started using the Fusion applications on cloud base. There is no risk with the security. There is no risk. Okay, if somebody is going to opt cloud solutions from Oracle, they are taking enough security for the client data. The 100% responsibility is Oracle responsibility. We have to rely on that. We have to go ahead. Client has to go ahead, because so they are taking care of that level of security.
One more thing, Lakshman.
Yeah, please.
If the client is going on cloud,
Okay.
the DBA will that support from Oracle itself, right?
Exactly. No DB is required.
Yeah, DBA, that means support. That means if I want to add or any technical tables or synonyms or
Anything Oracle will support if you are on the cloud based. Because frankly, see, one more point here, when you are using the cloud based, the Oracle won't give you the option to connect to your database also. If you want to access and if you want to query, if you want to see some data and all, we have separate BA environment. From there you can access to the application. You don't need to use some kind of third party tools, etc. Within the application environment, query area they provided. Anything patch, you have some issue, Oracle is suggesting to apply the patch, just you can report to that cloud team saying that this patch need to apply, they'll take care of some maintenance and etc. So DBA, what DBA will take care of in EBS environment, that kind of tasks or activities can be performed by Oracle only. And
For
what?
that also different charges they will charge, or including the same
And no,
cost?
no, they don't charge. That comes under. See, you'll be having some agreement with Oracle, right? Saying that maybe user-based agreement or tenure-based agreement, some subscription will be having, right? Within that, that will be included because of your patch application, because of bug fixing, etc. They don't charge extra. And one more point is here, technical. Majorly, you don't find too much technical resource also in the Fusion projects. However, you see in the EBS, that also will be discussing in further points. Any other questions?
Hi, Lakshman.
Yeah, hi, please.
So, Lakshman, basically, you said that with the SaaS, we can have the inbound interfaces. So
Yes.
my question is related to, Logbox. For example, the client, Oracle, we know that Oracle supports BAI2 format,
Yep.
but let's say, client has a different format, and so in that case, we define a new transmission format, and we
Exactly.
also end up defining a new loader file for SQL loader.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so how does that work? Because that file should reside in a common directory in Oracle. So does Oracle create separate space for different customers, or how does that work?
So for that, just see in that kind of scenarios, yes, Oracle support. For that, we have to put a request to Oracle to just allow us to where that new format of the file can be. Anyway, you'll be creating that transmission, etc. Right, everything. So you can put a request, then Oracle will allow that. Even it not only like in EBS environment, the compatible files only you can load it. If you want to go with some additional, you have to write the control file, etc. Everything the same will be
That
possible here. For that, they'll provide that interfacing where you can connect and where you have to populate. From there, it will take into the standard process. That is a possible. On
okay.
request, they can help. Oracle will support it.
Okay, so that's possible through SaaS, you are saying, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
It is
thanks.
possible through SaaS or PaaS. Any cloud option, it is possible because they'll give you
Okay,
multiple options. I will discuss detail level because we have a file based we have, and some interfacing based we have different options we have. When we walk through that third non-Oracle application integration with Fusion applications, in that session I'll walk through you detail level. If you have further questions, we can discuss that definitely.
thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Any other questions here?
Lakshman,
Yeah.
when you talk about the interface conversions, I heard that there is directly standard templates to
Yeah.
update the
I'll touch that point also. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'll touch that point here. I given the same point to talk about a few points on that fusion data conversion. So that there will be covering that point what you are raising. I'll touch that. We'll talk about it. How they made it simple and really technical resources required in a fusion implementations are not. That point we'll be discussing. If you have any question other than that, you can ask me. But if that is a question, I'll be covering anyway. Within 5 to 10 minutes, I'll be coming to that point. Yep. Fine. If not, any other question? Fine. I don't see any other questions, so I'll just move on to next point here. So here, Oracle Fusion Enterprise Structure. Okay. So Oracle Fusion Enterprise Structure. So we know very well our EBS multi-org structure. Let me write here the same. Okay. So in EBS, whatever the client entire business environment will be just total business data will be classifying and will be just creating the environment called as multi-org, right? When you talk about multi-org, this is a very simple structure we have here. We'll have a BZ. Under BZ we'll have a primary ledger. Under primary ledger we'll have LEs and operating units and inventory organization. Okay, this is a multi-org structure which we can see from release 12 in 11i, we know the same will remain same, but in place of primary ledger we have SOBs. Done. So the same structure, how you can see in that Fusion environment, how here the entire business information will be just managed in the Fusion environment. So here R12 we are calling as multi-org structure, and Fusion we are calling as, instead of calling it as a multi-org, here we are calling as enterprise structure. Okay, here R12 or 11i we are calling as multi-org structure. In Fusion we are calling as enterprise structure. So, and talk about this enterprise structure, what are the different enterprise elements we have as a part of enterprise structure? We have on top level enterprise. Under enterprise, we have a divisions. Under divisions, we have a primary ledger. Under primary ledgers, we have a legal entities. And under legal entities, we have BUs. Under BUs, we have inventory organizations. So this is the enterprise structure which you can find in the Fusion environment. Enterprise, divisions, primary ledgers, LEs and BUs and OUs. Here primary ledger means, PL means primary ledger, LE means legal entity, BU stands for business unit. The operating unit, they named it as a business unit. This is a general business term which we'll be using. And inventory organization will remain. So what is exactly enterprise structure? Whether enterprise is equal to BZ or not in the EBS environment. We know, like in the single instance we can create multiple business groups, right? In EBS environment it can be 11 or R12. In the single instance you can create multiple business groups. But when you talk about Fusion as a part of enterprise structure, for one instance you can have only one enterprise. Instance you can have only one enterprise. But if client is going to run the business in the multiple countries, how the BZ similar concept can be managed within the Fusion environment. So BZ means, just here if you take example, if your client is running the 4 countries, in the 4 countries we want to have a separate BZ where you will be segregating and maintaining and controlling HR and payroll related data. In that scenario we will be having 4 BZs. You may have 4 BZs. If the same scenario need to be handled in the Fusion environment, how that can be done? For one instance we can have only one enterprise. So similar to the BZ concept in the Fusion environment, we have a concept called as legislative data groups. So purely HCM, human capital management, HRMS related solution, but let's talk about it. Okay, legislative data groups. With this legislative data group, you can manage country specific HR and payroll solutions. So if your company is running the operations in say 10 countries you want to maintain some different data grouping for HR and payroll, you can create 10 legislative data groups. However, we create as per requirement 10 BZs in the EBS environment. So enterprise will be one. Under one enterprise, how many legislative data groups you require, accordingly you can create as how you are going to manage your HR solutions. Each country you can create one separate legislative data group. That's how it can be managed. Now what is the meaning of this division? Okay, when you talk about division, see, we know, like if division in EBS case, yes, division concept we are having, but as a part of chart of accounts. Within the chart of accounts, it may be just some country specific chart of accounts, local, or it can be global chart of accounts. As per our requirement you can manage the divisions. But apart from maintaining the divisions, okay, as a part of chart of accounts, Oracle given the flexibility here where you can just have a divisions as a part of enterprise structure. When you say division here, what we can map as a part of division in the Fusion environment or in general practice? So division is nothing but it can be your line of business, a vertical. Okay, so say client is running the business and they are into different verticals. Say one is IT services, other one is say textile, and third one say automobiles. These are the 3 verticals we are talking about. Each vertical they can take as a different division as a part of their enterprise. So that if they take these 3 verticals as a separate divisions, there will be great possibility where they can get balanced business transactions division level. They can have a reporting, they can have internal reporting capabilities and all they can have, and even the profitability reports also they will be able to derived from division level. That is a great flexibility we have in the Fusion applications. One a simple example I taken, some vertical, each vertical they can take as separate division, or else some each geography they can take as a separate division. APAC or EMEA or different geographies they can take as a division. So here the best examples for division is it can be some vertical of business or some geography where they are running the operations accordingly. They can have a great reporting capabilities. They can bring with a division concept if they are when they are include division as a one of the enterprise element as a part of their enterprise structure. And other point is primary ledger. As we know, it remains same primary ledger which we use to capture the accounting transactions and for reporting to account of each and every transaction across the application. Legal entity same based on registrations will have it, and operating in it we have in EBS the same. They renamed as a business unit. Okay, so we'll see detail level when you get into that, some business unit, business functions, etc. It's so slightly different compared to EBS operating in it, and inventory organizations those will remain same. But here we have a distribution center concept also. It's not a primary role it will be playing, so just I'm not including in that. So primarily these are the elements we have as a part of enterprise structure. Out of that, division is optional again. If client wants to go with that as a mandate as per the requirement, they can go with the division. Otherwise, you can ignore the division. You can proceed with the enterprise definition and then primary ledger, legal entity, BU, inventory organization. Finally, it will more or less equal to our R12 or 11A multi-org structure only. So just these are the points to understand when you talk about enterprise structure. Okay, these everything will be creating that enterprise, this prime ledger, legal, operate, BU, etc. All will be creating. We'll treat our training, entire training will be running. In case of generally fresh environment, where to start, how to start, what will be doing, necessary, required setups. In that way, we'll walk through this training. So that will be creating whatever we mentioned here. Okay. If anybody has any question on this kind of Fusion enterprise structure, you can just ask me so that we'll discuss on this. Any questions on this point? Yeah.
Can you explain a bit about business units?
See,
how does it differ from an OU concept from release 12?
It's not like different. I said OU concept they given as a business unit in Fusion environment. There are few points which we have to understand in terms of managing the business units in the Fusion environment. There is a concept called as business unit, business functions, how that is maintained in a our R12 or 11A environment, and how we are going to manage the same concept in Fusion environment as a business unit, business functions. That I am talking about. I'm not saying it's just OU is BU is different from OU. It's not different, same. But there are certain points which we have to understand which will make slightly different how things will be managed in EBS and Fusion with respect to BU. That's it.
Lakshman, one thing here.
Yep.
When you talk about business group, you mean to say you said one instance, one enterprise.
Yes, for one instance, one enterprise.
Yeah, then we don't have any multiple business units, so no need of point of to specify the business unit concept here, right?
No. You see, you may not have multiple grouping of the data respective to HR and payroll. Still, you should create minimum one legislative data group for respective country. For each country, you have to create the separate legislative data group. See, it's a enterprise. It's system created, automate. Like in multi-org EBS also, there will be default BZ, right? But still you can modify the name, or else you can create your own BZs, right? The fresh environment also there will be some setup BZ, business group, right? So that you can name, modify the name, or else you can create how many BZs you require. In the same way, it's not same way like in Fusion environment will be having only one enterprise. You can change that name to your enterprise name. That's it. But under that, whatever the HR operation, HR solutions we are going to have for respective country, accordingly you have to create those many legislative data groups. Now here for comparison, I am taking legislative data group is equal to BZ as per EBS. That's it. you may have requirement of managing multiple BGs concept in the Fusion environment, okay, or may not have, but still enterprise will be there as a one only all the cases. If you have requirement of multiple, create multiple legislative data groups, only one you want to go, even enterprise is there, still you have to create the legislative data group to manage your HR and payroll data. That's it. Yep. Yeah. Any other questions, please?
Yeah, Lakshman. So
Yeah.
I have a question.
Please.
So the way you explain, I understand that divisions are, let's say kind of verticals in the organization.
Correct. Can be.
Okay. So yeah, can be. So if that be the case, then
Please go on. I can't hear you. I lost you. I'm sorry.
sorry, sorry for that. So basically, if that be the case, then ideally it should be, finding a place below LE, right? Isn't it?
Finding the place. See, finding the place early. It can be. It cannot be. See, that depends. Okay. Because see, you may have multiple LEs in one country, right? That can be possible.
Possible, yeah.
Possible.
But in each
So-
LE, for example, will have verticals, isn't it?
Yes, each LE different vertical, but for different vertical of businesses also you can have one LE. That is possible, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
that is possible. In that scenario, if you have proper mapping as a separately, in that case, yes, whatever the scenario you are taking example, if that is the true, I'll suggest no division is required. If you have some different model of managing your business where you will be doing grouping or LE or other just how you are managing the data, in that case definitely required. I'm not saying just vertical itself will be taking as a division. That is one of the best example which I can give how the business are managed.
So when I define division in the system, do I associate it with the LE or enterprise, or at what level do I make an association?
Yes, you will be doing the association with LEs. You'll be mapping
LEs,
with
right?
LEs. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thanks.
Fine. Any other questions here? Okay. Fine. So we'll move on to the next point here. So that's all about Fusion Enterprise Structure. If any questions, you can raise your point. If you're not ready to ask, you can type in at least in chat window so that we can discuss. Now let's get it. Yeah,
Lakshman, one more question.
please.
You just said that an LE is mapped to a division.
LE
Right?
is yes,
And
yes.
so LE is independent of a primary ledger then, or is it also mapped to the primary ledger?
Yeah, definitely that concept remains same, but the division, okay, when we are going to do the reports or anything, if you are going to capture the transaction, that division is mapped with how many LEs and all. For that purpose we'll be using the LE mapping with the primary ledger. BSV's mapping from primary ledger to LE, the concept remains same. This would be additional representation, that's all.
Okay.
That's all. So that will remain. See, in EBS whatever you have, that those all are remain same, no changes. It's kind of some additional point which you can have. See, for example, you are running the business in 4 countries. Enterprise level you can create maybe country specific or 2 or 3 divisions. So across the 4 countries, whatever the LEs you can have, that LE mapping you want to do with which division, that multiple LEs you can map with one division. That's how you can do it. Okay, fine, done. So now just we'll look into this another point. So Oracle Fusion architecture.
Lakshman, sorry to interrupt you. I have a question.
You can ask me many questions. No, sorry. Just please ask me because I'm happy to hear questions.
Yeah,
from
I
you
know.
guys. Please.
So see, I am just taking a scenario wherein, let's say I have one primary ledger, one legal entity, and let's say 3 divisions. Very simple scenario.
Yep.
Okay. So basically we have one PL, one LE, and let's say underneath I have 3 divisions, D1, D2, and D3. Let's say these are 3 verticals. Okay. Now I am entering a transaction.
One second here. When you take this case, I simply suggest you don't go with the division as a part of enterprise. If you need, go with the division as a part of chart of account. Reason, everything you have like one primary ledger, right? When you have
Agree,
one primary
agree.
ledger, in that case, you don't need to go with the division as a part of enterprise, go division as a part of primary ledger of chart of accounts. That's all.
Okay, let's take I have two PLs and let's say I have two two LEs, and let's say each one is linked with different divisions, for
Yeah,
example.
please. Now you can. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, now let's I am entering a transaction for let's say LE1.
Okay.
Okay, and at this stage, and I don't have division as part of my chart of account. So at this stage, how do I link my transaction to the line of business? Because does it appear as a field while entering the transaction in the system?
No, no,
How
no.
does that work?
It won't. There won't be any field and all that. You have to go with some additional reporting. You have to generate the reports as per that. It's not like it won't happen in that way. If it is there as a part of chart of accounts division, then it happens. Otherwise, enterprise point of you have to generate the reports. How that if you create one transaction that is mapped with the LE, right?
Yes.
Since that will be balance segment value, that will be mapped with the LE mapped with the division through primary ledger, right? So
Agree.
that's how you have to drill down the reporting. There is no straight away. Yep, please.
I understand that. I understand it, but my LE has let's say 3 divisions. If I don't specify the division at the time of entering the transaction, even the custom reporting would not work in that case.
See,
How would
division,
system know?
when you are generating the report division wise, division can be mapped with multiple LEs, right? So if you want to get reporting for entire division irrespective of LE, accordingly you can generate the reports. If you want to generate the report division wise within the division LE wise, that's how you can have a report generation. That's it. Two options will be having.
Okay. I think it would be more clear when we get into the real transaction, maybe.
Yep. Fine.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Fine. So any other questions? Anybody? Fine, done. Fine, we'll just get into this Fusion arc structure. Before that, the simple arc structure in EBS, what we have. So here we have applications, right? On top we have Oracle applications. I'm not taking here 3 tiers as a just application and presentation, architecture and database. Simple, just an example I'm taking here, application and a database. Simple understanding. Okay, this is the architecture which we have in the Fusion. Of course, these applications will be accessed by some, some client machines, etc. That just let's ignore from our discussion for now. So we'll have applications under database. So any communication between this application database direct. Okay, there is no mediator kind of layer between the applications and database. If you are going to integrate any application with our Oracle application third party, directly will be integrating with that application. There's no other channel to do that. If any communication takes place between the application and database, so that would be direct communication. But in case of EBS, Fusion environment, just I'm removing this. So when you look at Fusion architecture, we have Oracle Fusion applications, and we have Oracle database. In case of EBS, we'll have just Oracle database, but in the Fusion, along with Oracle database, we have S-based database also. And between these applications and Oracle database or S-based database, we have a middleware. Okay. So when we talk about these Fusion applications, it's not new for us. It's all about our application finance or any other GL, AP, ER, CM, FA, etc., etc. Okay. And here when you talk about database, we have just already I just mentioned here, we'll have a Oracle database and let me write here as a database. Okay. So database, Oracle database, we have an S-based database. We have why we have these 2 databases we'll be discussing. And anything you do in any applications or any application you want to integrate with these applications, non-Oracle applications, third-party application, anything you want to integrate with this application, that should be done through middleware only. And if anything you are doing on this application, that process should be controlled and monitored by this middleware only. That's how they built architecture in the Fusion environment. when you talk about Fusion middleware, there are many technologies, many Fusion middleware components we have, but all we don't require. When you are working as a functional consultant, what are the few components, few elements we have to understand? Okay, objects we have to understand from middleware. We'll see that. So middleware point of view, just we have to understand IDM. The same IDM you can call as OM. This is a one. Other one is APM. Other one is BPM, and uh, other one is other UCM, and technical other components are SOA, BPEL, etc. There are many other, but we will talk about where we will be working. Okay, done. So these are the middleware components we have. Let's go through these, what exactly these, and then we'll just finalize this, what is the Fusion and architecture, how it works, etc. So here IDM stands for Identity Manager. So same IDM, instead of calling it as IDM, you may call as OM. OM stands for Oracle Identity Manager. Both are same. Okay, the same name. Okay, for Identity Manager, this is IDM you can call, or OM you can call it. And what is the BPM? We'll talk about what is the purpose. Okay, let me just write it. APM. So Authorization Policy Manager or Access Policy Manager, you can call it. And BPM stands for Business Process Management. And UCM stands for Universal Content Management. And SOA, BPEL is purely technical. SOA, Service Oriented Architecture, BPEL, Business Process Execution Language. These purely technical components which are placed as a part of middleware, one of the components. That we don't need to focus on that. That will be pure, SOA suite admin will take care of, and BPEL experts will take care of that. That is a purely technical part. Let's talk about this IDM. So what is the IDM or OM in Fusion environment? It's a simple, it is equal to EBS system administrator. I can say it's equal and more than also. Okay, so that we'll see how and how it works in the Fusion environment. That we'll see. That just I am outlining what is the purpose we have this middleware components. That means total security, total application security, user privileges, everything will be governed by middleware only. Okay, that they don't have as a part of one of the application, however we have in EBS, so that separately will be handled by a middleware component. With as a middleware component, total user creations, kind of security, and role assignments and the privileges, etc., everything will be managed in the Fusion environment by using IDM, or we can say OM. That is a one. So in case of EBS, we'll have a seeded role, the seeded menus, right? Seeded menus will be having for each application. We have seeded menus. Based on that, will create responsibilities. But in the Fusion environment, there is no concept called as responsibility creation. Equal to responsibility, we have some different definition which will be created to a system that will discuss detail level. So in EBS, we have a seeded menus. The same, similar to that, in Fusion environment, we have a seeded roles. So again, those seeded roles for each application, they are giving some predefined seeded roles. Thus, predefined seeded roles will be managed with the role templates. For each application, will have a separate role template which will be holding the seeded roles for respective applications. That role management and template management, custom roles definition, and all can be done through APM, Authorization Policy Manager. Here you can see, you can manage all the roles. If you create the custom roles, those roles you can manage here, and you can have you can manage the templates, and you can create your own templates as per business requirement. Altogether, you can create your custom job roles, data roles, etc. Detail level will go through it. Simple point, to manage the roles, we can use the APM. And other term here, we have a BPM, Business Process Management. It's a very simple, the AME, Approved Management Engine. Okay, the approval management, how we'll be doing in EBS, that you can do through BPM. So majorly to set up the approvals. Okay, it can be for invoice, journals, or purchase orders, or any documents. For any kind of approvals, all you can set from BPM only. This is the one place where you can set all the approvals. So we'll be working on the approvals also. So at that time we'll go through it detail level. We'll set up and we'll be testing approval based transactions. And UCM, universal content management, it's kind of repository where you can load certain data into this environment which can be processed in the system, in which scenario we'll be using this UCM means majorly when we are doing the data conversions. Okay, I'll touch that point when we are talking about data conversions, how this can be handled in the Fusion environment. So these are the few middleware components which we have. Okay, we'll be working on the applications, and when you are working on the applications, these applications entire process will be controlled by these middleware components. Okay, and finally the data will get, once you have a transactional data through this application, transactional data will get stored in Oracle database, and the balances. Okay, so the balances, the transaction related summarized balances will get stored in the Essbase database. This is purely for reporting purpose. We have Financial Reporting Studio to generate the reports. This can be used. Okay, since Oracle acquired this Hyperion, the Hyperion products also they kept as inbuilt solution within the Fusion application to prepare the finance reports. In EBS, whatever we have FSG, in place of FSG in Fusion we have Hyperion related Financial Reporting Studio, FRS we call. Okay, in to support that feature, this Essbase database can be used. So this is all about Fusion architecture to understand very high level. If anybody has any questions, you can just raise your question so that we can discuss.
Lakshman, this is Ramesh here again.
Yeah, please.
Going back to the enterprise structure, right?
Yep.
Does a division or which may be a line of business, let's say the company has 3 lines of business, is the division directly tied to a legislative data group, or is it not?
Yes, there will be mapping between the division and the legislative data group. That is there.
So okay, so the next question is, a division can be mapped to multiple LD legislative data groups?
So one division can be mapped with multiple legislative. Yes, that is possible. That's what, just when you are running the global operations, you may have one division called as automobiles that you may operate in the multiple countries. If you have a requirement of just grouping that data for reporting or any other purposes, so that should be possible. For that, such kind of provision, legislative data group can be mapped with the multiple divisions, and multiple LEs can be mapped with a one division. Yes.
Multiple LEs can be mapped to one division. So it's not, so if once I map a LE to a division, I cannot map that LE to another division, or it's a multi, one many to many. Is it many to many?
No. One division you can map. One LE you can map to one division.
That's it? I cannot map one LE to multiple divisions?
No, one LE to multiple. Yes, that is possible. You can have a multiple grouping. It's not like one BSV you can assign to one LE, it won't be available. It's not like that. LE you can map with the multiple divisions. Sure.
And okay, one LE can be mapped to multiple divisions.
Multiple divisions, right? And one legislative data group can be mapped with, multiple legislative data groups can be mapped with one division.
Okay. Multiple legislative data groups can be
mapped with one division.
That's also many to many, right? Multiple legislative data groups can be mapped to multiple divisions.
Yeah, yes, possible. Because it's all about for your primarily reporting purpose. So that flexibility we have in that environment.
Right. But neither of the legislative data groups or the divisions are directly tied to a primary ledger, right?
See, when you say LE, when you're assigning LE...
No, I'm not saying, I'm saying a legislative data group and a division is only tied to a ledger through the LE.
See, let me tell you this point. See, this LE will be mapped with the primary ledger, and when you assign LE to division, that means you are mapping primary ledger also division. When you just map legislative data group to when you can map legislative data group with one division. I mean
Okay, so
multiple.
that's what I meant. So
That's how the
you
flow.
don't directly tie the primary ledger to the legislative data group or division. They are connected through the
Division.
legal entity.
Yeah, legal entity. When you map legal entity, definitely legal entity will be associated with the primary ledger, because there's no hard and fast rule where primary ledger can have one LE, right? That kind of flexibility we have where it can have multiple. So that is the reason through LE will be doing the mapping, so that system will understand that LE is mapped with which primary ledger. So that's how the association will work.
That's what. So again, just to clarify, a legislative data group or a division is independent of the primary ledger. The only association they come is through the legal
Through
entity.
legal entity, yes, correct. All right.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Meantime, I have one question here. What is the difference between database and S-based database? It's very simple. So database here, whatever I'm referring, that is Oracle database, where we can store transaction data. If I record, say, one journal, that journal information, it will store as it is in the Oracle database. So when we have a transactional data in the database, it will be very complex process where system, when you hit through some report, it will start identifying the transaction, it will start summing the balances, and it will be producing the results. It is like some time taking. I think somebody kept unmute. Mute. Yeah, please. Thanks. Okay. So it will be big burden to the system. So whenever some report will hit database to identify the transaction, to summarize and all. So that is the reason transaction Oracle database will support for transactional database to fetch the transactions. But if you want to generate some summarized reports and all, the summarized balances will be ready in the S-based database in terms of multi-dimensional cubes. We'll discuss on that at detail level so that you can understand. For now, for simple point, Oracle database to store transactional data, S-based database to store summarized balances with a respective dimension. The dimension can be your account, dimension can be period, dimension can be amount type, dimension can be currency. There are multiple dimensions. So on that base, with that criteria, balances pre stored balances will be maintained in S-base. Once you have a transaction, the Oracle database, that database related transaction is belongs to, the account is belongs to which primary ledger, and again which period and which currency. On that criteria, automatically the data will get stored and will get added for the same currency and the same period, etc. That's how the balances will be readily available in the space database. If you submit any report, system is not going to perform kind of activity of identifying, again analyzing. Ready-made balances will be available over there, since each transactional data automatically will get stored in summarized balance in the space. Immediately system can fetch and give you the report online. That's how, just a simple difference I can talk about now. Later, if you want to understand few more points, we'll see that. Okay. So that's all about Fusion architecture, and just few more points are left to discuss. So data conversion process. Okay, here when we talk about data conversion, just we'll wind up the session within 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, seems so few people are just rushed to some their works, etc. Fine, done. But these sessions every day will be running from 7 to 9. Okay, fine. So data conversion, we know when you talk about EBS, just will refer this and we'll proceed with the Fusion, so that will be easy for us to understand. This for few people. In EBS, what we'll do, we'll prepare the data templates, right? We'll prepare data templates for master and transactional data that business users will fill with the data, and will share with technical team. They'll do a lot of, they'll convert, right? They'll convert into CSV or other flat files, compatible formats. Then they'll load and they'll create. What they do is they'll create technical create staging tables. They'll extract, right, data, and they'll extract data and they'll load into staging. For that they do a lot of coding, right? They'll do a lot of coding, and after loading into staging, what they do, they write many validations. Once validations are passed, they'll populate data in interface tables and respective interface tables. For this also, to populate also, they'll write a lot of coding, and finally we'll just simply will import into base tables by using some standard proof. Okay, this is kind of traditional process which we follow in every R12 or release 12 implementation. Okay, so to do the data conversions, it's a mandatory, we require technical resource. But if you are going to work on Fusion environment for data conversions, we don't need technical resource. But here now we can highlight one point. When we are working on the Fusion application implementation, we don't require any technical resource. EBS case we need technical, but Fusion case basically we need functional consultants who can perform almost all the work implementation tasks. Okay, so this is a process we'll follow in EBS. When we talk about Fusion, so all templates are available. You no need to prepare any template. Okay, fully validated templates are available from Oracle. Simply you have to go and download from Oracle website. Just you have to download, including that additional fields also, attributes, DFF purpose. If you want to capture some additional information, including that elements, that columns also, we have all templates are available. Just simply what all templates are available, you have to download and give it to the business users and fill with the data.
How many templates are seeded?
So almost what generally we use in EBS to load the data, very primary. If you say payables, vendor master and open invoices, that's all. We'll see that. I'll show you. We'll do that activity in the system also. I'll show you from where you can find which templates based on version. Mostly used all templates are available. Okay, so just all templates are available from Oracle, and okay, so here you can download and you can fill with the data. Of course, data filling and all will be done by business users. Once you're done with that, within the template you'll have an option of converting the template into CSV file. Just we can do that. Say, just simply say convert. There is one question, I'll just come to that question. Okay, convert, okay, into CSV file format. Within the template we'll have option to convert by following some instructions. This task also can be done by technical people. Okay, so here technical people are converting. Okay, but here we are just converting here, so just it's not a big job. But technical people, what they are doing, they are creating staging tables, they are loading the data, they are extracting, loading the data into staging tables by writing some lot of programming. But here equal to staging tables, okay, we have UCM, universal content management, which is a pre-built, okay, pre-built one, which we get along with the product. So in case of EBS, technical resource has to create the staging tables, but in Fusion no need to do that. So inbuilt we have a UCM, universal content management. So what you can do is simply load CSV files into UCM, that's all. So here they are loading. After loading, what they are doing, by writing a lot of validations, they are populating the data in interface just by running one job. Okay, simply just say here populate data into interface tables from UCM. Just we have one job, means request. If you run the request based on the data, automatically data will be populated from UCM to respective interface tables. Simply you have to import into base tables. That's all. So this is a process will follow in case of EBS. If you are doing data conversion, we don't need it at all any technical resource support to perform the data conversions in the Fusion environment. Any questions you can ask me, we'll discuss. Now just I'm removing this, we can forget about it. Any questions on this? We'll see this, the same process, whatever we are discussing now, we'll see. We'll go through in the system. Okay, we'll see the live example. Okay, if no questions, I'll just move on to next point. So rapid implementation here, just I'll show you in the system. It's a simple point. So here, rapid implementation means when we are doing the system configuration, okay, when you are doing system configuration, so Oracle is providing some predefined templates where you can enter some setup related data in the template spreadsheets. The data we can load into the system. Again, Oracle given the flexibility functional front where you can extract the data and you can just import into other environment for one project to another project. So that kind of flexibility Oracle given, that process will be calling as rapid implementation. Simple point, Oracle given the spreadsheets where you can enter the data and you can load into the instance. That is one point. Second point is whatever the data is available in the particular instance that you can extract and that you can load into other instance. Everything you can do as a functional task. So that kind of friendly environment which will work through spreadsheet based, that kind of process we call as rapid implementation. Unfortunately, this rapid implementation is not applicable for all the setups and all. Very enterprise based setups only this rapid implementation is available. And again, this loading this vendor master and transactional data, master data and transactional data also you can consider into rapid implementation process only, since they simplified compared to EBS. Okay, I'll show you how to download the rapid implementation template, how to fill, how to just upload it. We'll see that. There is no much information for now on that to discuss. So that is a simple point you can understand. You can, instead of going and doing in the setups in the system, you can fill some predefined templates which we get from Oracle that you can load automatically. System will do the system configuration, but this is available for very specific setups only. That's all. So that is a one point. Let me go through some questions I have here. So are we download the Fusion templates from Fusion applications or Oracle site only? Okay. Okay, we'll have a enterprise repository, okay, which we call as OER, Oracle Enterprise Repository. From this subdomain, whatever Oracle have, from this you can download it. I'll share the link also when we are doing it. I'll show you in the system, same link I'll be sharing so that you can download and you can just have a look. From OER, Oracle Enterprise Repository. Previously Oracle is allowing to download with some Oracle credentials, but now it's openly available. Anyone can go and download it. And I have some other questions. So is it similar to WebADI concept in EBS? I don't say WebADI also we have in EBS. I'm not talking about WebADI. In Fusion WebADI we call as ADFDI. Okay, Fusion WebADI we call as ADFDI, but that concept is totally different. This is the different templates we have. It's all about spreadsheet based only. Okay, can we have rapid implementation for creating BUs? Exactly. For majorly for this purpose only we have to create BUs, LEs, inventories and primary ledgers, etc. For enterprise based definitions you can do through rapid implementation. Yes, correct. Yes, Sagar. Okay, done. So that's all about data conversion process, which you can see in the Fusion environment, and that is all about rapid implementation. Yeah, please.
Yeah, so I have a question on this data conversion.
Yeah, please.
So while trying to populate the data from UCM into Oracle interface tables, how does the error handling mechanism work? So does it allow us to cut the errors?
Simple. It will generate the execution file, and you can if you find some error and all, what you can do is you have to go and resubmit it. That's all. You have to go and correct it. It will be addressing what is the issue in the log file. You have to go and correct, and then again you have to resubmit it. That's it. That is simple. There is no mechanism where in the interface level you can do that. Okay. For
Okay.
certain
So I have to
functions, yeah.
resubmit the entire file, right?
Sorry.
I have to resubmit the entire load in that case.
Yes. We don't need to. I mean, there is a lot of effort. Is no much effort is required. Simple. You can correct and upload it once again. That's all. Simple.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So that's all about it. That's all about rapid implementation. I'll show you the spreadsheets, how to fill, how to load it. And finally, Oracle Fusion Financials course curriculum. Here, majorly, as a part of this course, we are going to cover Oracle Fusion General Ledger. Hope everybody received course content. And just let me talk about it detail level. It will take 5 more minutes. Fusion accounts payable, and Oracle Fusion accounts receivable, and Oracle Fusion cash management, and Oracle Fusion fixed assets. So primarily these are the applications we'll be covering. Already we given the detailed course content also. Anyway, I'll just run through here once again. So majorly we'll be focusing on these 5 applications, and on top of it we'll do the Oracle Fusion purchasing configuration also. Even along with that, we'll complete all the basic configuration which is required for Fusion procurement purchasing. Then we'll set up the approvals for purchase orders, and we'll create the purchase orders, we'll submit for approval, and we'll create the invoices by matching with the purchase orders. This will do, and we'll just go through the setups and the process for Oracle Fusion Tax, EBS, EBT, e-business tax we are calling as Fusion Tax in the Fusion environment. For this also I'll cover the basic R2R flow, and we'll have some transaction in payables, and we'll make sure that tax is calculating based on the configuration, basic configuration, what we do in the Fusion Tax application. And apart from that, so there are many other tools as we discussed. Functional setup manager, this is a separate application which we'll be using to do all the functionality related configuration. The Fusion setup part is different and transaction part is completely different. It's not like in EBS. If you assign some super user menu to particular responsibility, it will allow you to work on all the transaction and setup part. It's totally they just separated. So to do any setups in the Fusion environment, we'll be using the FSM, Functional Setup Manager. This also definitely will be using, because without this we cannot do anything. Functional Setup Manager. This will be covering, apart from that, whatever here we discussed. So these also will be covered, because when we are working on any application, you just should touch all these. This both are same IDM OM. APM will be using just to know which roles we have, how to create the custom roles, how to assign the custom roles for existing templates. And through BPM we'll be setting the approvals for invoice approval, journal approval, purchase order approvals. UCM, you don't need to work on this anything. When you're working on data conversions, we'll come across this UCM, how to load into UCM, that will be understanding. And I have a few questions here from Sagar and other. So what about Oracle Fusion Tag? Yeah, that's what just now we discussed the same. And can we have a rapid implementation for SLA, sub-ledger accounting? No. See, if you want to do some changes to existing rules and all, you can do it. Again, that doesn't comes under customization and respective to cloud-based term. So you can do it. If any changes if you want to do, you can do for SLA, but no rapid implementation for SLA. Okay. Are we also covering SLA concepts? See, SLA concepts remain same as EBS SLA, but anyway, when you are working on, we'll touch that SLA for sure. The reason is, if you want to work on purchasing, if you want to default PO related accounts, in case of EBS, will provide those accounts in the receiving options and other options level, automatically those will get defaulted. But here, without defining the derivation rules in SLA, we cannot populate default those PO related charge other accounts. So for that reason, we'll be touching SLA, but we'll be touching in PO since it's a mandatory. Okay, we'll touch that. But finance front, we are not going to do any changes for SLA. We'll be using the same. The concept wise, it remains same as the EBS, but we'll touch SLA to create few rules, and we'll assign those rules. Finally, we'll assign to ledger. Those activities will be doing, but for purchasing purpose. Because without doing that SLA related definitions, new definitions, you cannot create purchase order. For the dependency, we'll be doing this. Okay. So these are the areas we are going to cover. Primarily will be focusing on these 5 applications. Top of it, Fusion purchasing, tax, that will be covering, and I'll be demonstrating the few basic setups. Okay, on Oracle Fusion expense. It's nothing but I expense as per EBS. Here I'll just run through the setups. For this, the process I cannot show you. Here there is some bug in our environment, so I'll just walk through the setups. Few setups, very limited setups we have for that. I'll walk through that. Okay, so this is the expectation you can have from this training. I make sure that you will be able to work on any implementation or support project after this training. I'll be just covering from the very basic level. So here another point, just I have a course content today. Whatever we discuss, this is what we are calling as demo. Then IDM and APM, these are the points we'll be covering. From functional setup manager, these all will be covering. From PPM, we'll be doing these all approvals, including purchasing or approval setups and process. And enterprise structure, just now we discussed, will be creating all those enterprise BUs, all those will be defining. And from GL side, these all concepts will be covering. Okay, and from AP side, these are the all concepts will be covering all these setups, and these are the different concepts. Okay, all these concepts will be covering. And from purchasing side, these are the setups will be covering, and we'll see the transaction process. And AR side, these all concepts will be covering. Okay, so cash management side, bank statement reconciliations we'll see, and asset side, these are the concepts we are going to cover, setups and processes. And Fusion expense, just will do this setup. These are few setups which need to be done for Fusion expense. And Fusion tax, I didn't mention all the setups, just we'll do the setups and we'll be testing it. Okay, this is what we'll be doing. Okay, for each session we'll record, for each session we'll be recording, and we'll be sharing the same video after every session, so that you can have for your future reference. If you miss any session, that will be useful, or else you may attend all the sessions, but for future reference you can use these videos. Every session will be recorded and will be shared with every participants. And for this, to cover entire Fusion financials configuration, we'll be sharing configuration document, where within that you can find SLA customizations, SLA definitions, including advanced collections, etc. All setups will be providing. And for within this course content, whatever mentioned, then for few concepts wherever there is no possibility to do here, I mentioned as an overview. For that, I'll be providing separate documents. If you go through those documents, you'll be master in that area. So that's what we have to notice. That's all. Every day we'll be having the session for 2 hours, 7 to 9. Okay, and we'll be completing this course by end of this month for sure. Okay, so that's what here. Okay, that's all about this course. Other than these points, anybody has any questions on whatever we discussed today about this course or anything related to this, you can ask me. And again, we'll provide the instance access for 3 months for your practice. If anybody need for more than 3 months also, yes, on request we can extend the access for a couple of months also. That's not an issue. Okay, and when we are practicing, if you have some issues or anything, you can report us by writing the mail on erpt.com@gmail.com, so that will be giving the reply and fixing any issue in the instance environment. So our instance, almost it will be up and running. We have a very good environment, so you don't have any performance related issues and all. Okay, so this is all about it. If any questions you have about timings, etc., you can ask me. Okay, that's all about this course. You can go through this course content.
Lakshmi,
yeah, please.
Do you have sessions over the weekends, like on Fridays and Saturdays?
Friday, Saturday already we are running the batches. We may start, but not soon. take some time because recently we started on batch.
Okay.
And if anybody is looking for a very kind of rapid, where somebody is bit hurry to complete this and all, for that we have option where you can take all the videos, because for previous sessions we recorded the videos. Those videos you can take from us. You can run those videos offline. If you have any questions, you can make a note and we can set up the call and we can have a discussion, one-to-one discussion. I'll be available to clarify your doubts based on what are the videos we'll be browsing. And in that case also will be given instance access and soft copy of document. And if somebody take the videos and all, again we will allow them to into any live classes also if they want to attend. So that is also available. Frankly
Yeah,
speaking,
that was my question.
yeah,
So if let's say if I take all these videos and I'm going through it,
yeah.
you would also be sharing with me your schedule for these online
Yes,
classes,
yes.
so I know which class I can jump
Yeah.
in.
Every time whenever we schedule the new batch, we'll be sharing that information with you. You can just opt any. You can join. You can be part of any batch anytime in future.
And in meantime, if I miss something, I can set up a separate discussion with you to understand or clarify my doubts.
No, if you miss something, will be anyway. Every session will be recording. Will be sharing with you. You can go through it. After going through that video, still if you have any queries, yes, I'll be available.
No, what I'm saying is if I just go for the self-paced and I have some questions, I have to
Yes.
email to
Yeah.
spend some
Yes.
time
Yes.
with
Yes.
you.
Yeah. You can just write a mail saying that. So and so concept. This is what I need some clarification. Means I'll reply it and we'll find both parties convinced. Your time and my time just will fix it and we'll have a call and we'll have a one-to-one discussion. Yes, that is for that I'll be available.
Okay, and in the meantime, if you have a online session coming up, I would also have that list of online sessions so I can
Yes.
jump in instead of having.
Exactly. That is possible. Every new schedule will be sharing with everyone.
Okay,
Yep.
helps. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks. Any other questions from anyone? Okay. Fine. Seems to no more questions from any other participants. Okay, if no questions, we can wind up the session for today. And it's like today demo and first session. The guys who want to just attend for them demo, the guys who are going to continue for them, they can treat it as a first session. And we'll have a second session tomorrow. And since these classes will be running from Monday to Friday, the third session will be from again will be on Monday. Okay, that's how we'll be continuing. Okay, this is the first session. Second session we are going to have tomorrow, same time, 7 o'clock. Okay, fine. Thanks for attending the session and have a good day and good night. Thank you all. Thanks. Thank you.